Welcome to the next tutorial in GSC scripting. So after the last one went a little bit long, hit nearly an hour, I'm going to try to make this one much shorter. So I'm going to be covering only if statements, which are pretty easy to understand. And just briefly before that, I'm going to talk about properties. Okay, so let's get right into it. Go into Launcher and our tutorial map and open up the map GSC again. So I still have it like it was last time, but I don't really want to do all that stuff with the various prints with the fruit. I say we delete all that. As well as our external script. Okay, so like I said, before we get into it, I want to talk briefly about properties. So properties are attached to variables, and the way you attach them is with a period. Technically, a level variable is really just a property set to the variable that is the level. In this case, apples would be the property, and but it doesn't have to just be level. We can do that with anything. So for example, we can make a variable called character and give it a property dot name, and then we set this property equal to what we want. In this case, Billy, and end the line with a semicolon. I use the quotation marks here because I want it to be a string. Otherwise, just typing Billy wouldn't really mean anything. So now we have a variable and it has one property, that being the name, and that is Billy. If I were to do a print of character, that would do nothing. That wouldn't print anything. However, if I did character name, that would print Billy to the screen. Sorry about that. I lost my cursor for a moment. So anyways, this would print the word Billy to the screen because it would print the variable we set. So we can set more than one variable on something. For example, we could set age equal to 18, birthday, actually I don't know what I would set for that. Oh, well, we could say birthday equal to birth month equal to June, character birth day equals 3. So all this data can all be set on one variable. And now, if we get to the if statement part of this, let's thread this character we made to a new function called birthday celebration. Okay, so in this case, self is going to be character. So I'm just going to write a little comment there. That doesn't actually mean anything. But so now it's time to talk about if statements. So an if statement basically checks a certain condition, and then if it is true, it executes the code within it. So you'd write an if statement like this. If, and then parentheses, and inside the parentheses you put the condition that has to be true. So for example, if character, or not character, in this case it would be called self.age is greater than or equal to 18. If that condition is true, then we type some brackets down below and we can have it execute some code. We can say you are an adult. Notice how there is no semicolon at the end of this if statement. It is one of the exceptions that you do not put a semicolon at the end of. Just like when you declare a function, you also don't put a semicolon after that. So as you can see here, I used the operator greater than or equal to, and that is how you would type that out. You can do more than that though. You could do, for just plain equal to, inside an if statement you have to type two equal signs back to back. Otherwise you'll get an error. So unlike up here when we define stuff with only one equal sign, in an if statement, to check if this is true, it has to be two equal signs. Then we can also do less than or equal to. You can do not equal to if you do an exclamation mark and an equal sign. So this will simply check that the age is not equal to 18. So any other number than 18, or even if age wasn't even defined, if we didn't have this line here, this would still be true because age is not equal to 18. So this would pass. If we had the age to say 16, and we go back to what we had originally, which was greater than or equal to, this print would not go off when we thread this function. However, with if statements, we also have else. So after an if statement, you can optionally add an else statement. You just type the word else, and then more curly brackets, and then any code you want to execute inside here. You are not an adult. So an else statement will activate if the above if statement was not passed. So in this case, since the age is 16, this if statement wouldn't pass, so the else statement would. It would print you are not an adult to the screen. In addition to else, we also have else if. So if we type else and then if, make a special condition, much like if the age is 17, and print almost an adult, but not quite. So the way this works is it will first check the if statement. If this is true, this line will be printed and none of these will go off. If this isn't true, it will check this statement. If this is true, this will be printed off, and that will be the end of that. If it's not true, it will keep going all the way down to the else. So using else ifs, you can effectively chain as many of these on there if you want. You could have a special line for every single age if you wanted. You cannot do that after an else statement though. This is reserved for the end. So if we want to properly use this information, how about this? Let's change this function a bit. Let's add an argument. Actually, yeah, month, 2 arguments. We'll add an argument for month, an argument for date. So, if we want to apply this information logically and check if it really is this character's birthday, then we can try if month equals character dot birth month, birthday must be sometime soon, or I suppose, yes, sometime this month, because it could have already passed. Else it's not even close to your birthday. Now we can put if statements within other if statements, and you'll see this a lot with scripting. So we already checked that the month was the character's birth month. Now we can put another if inside that to keep going. We can check if the day, or actually I called it date, equals characters. Oh, sorry, I just realized I keep calling this character. It's not called character, it's called self. I apologize for that. Self. Now we're checking if it is the character's birthday. If this is true, then it is effectively their birthday. In fact, let's customize this string a little more. Happy birthday, self.name. I guess there's nothing more to add to that. So what this will do is this will print happy birthday, and then I made sure to have that space in there because none of this space is actually part of the string that's going to get printed, and then it's going to print the name after that we defined earlier in here. So what it should print is happy birthday Billy, provided that both these if statements have passed. Now, I showed how you can put if statements within other if statements. However, there's another way we could do this same information, and that's if we put an and statement in here. So the way you say and is with 2 ampersands, like that. And what this does is it allows us to put another conditional for it to check, like this. So we can put this up here. Let's get rid of this if statement. Actually, let's keep that print though. And now what this will do is it will check if the month is the birth month and the date is the birthday, then it will pass this if statement. If just one of these is not true, it will go to the else statement, or simply will not pass the if statement. So this is how you say and effectively. You can also say or if you were to use these 2 vertical lines. Not sure what to call those. This means or in scripting language. So or means that just one of these conditions has to be met for this if statement to pass. So if it was just the birth month, say it was June, then this would pass. But even if it wasn't June, if it was the same birthday, this would also pass. So it could be May 3rd, this would pass, or it could be June 22nd, this would pass because it's an or statement. So we would need to use and to make this work logically in this case, because it's not your birthday, just because it's the same month or the same day in a different month. So yeah, guys, that should about wrap up this tutorial on if statements. I tried to keep it short. Hopefully this one will be less overbearing than the last one.